My husband chose his ex over me. He went back to his ex, leaving me in tears, all our memories shattered in one night. Now I'm fighting to rebuild my life alone. I'm posting from a throwaway because I really need some unbiased opinions. I'm emotionally drained, so sorry in advance if there are typos. My husband, let's call him Jack 36M, used to be in a long relationship with Emma 34F. They dated for years before splitting because he didn't want marriage or kids. Not long after Emma moved away, he met me 30F. For context, I don't look anything like his exes. Emma's tall, blonde, blue-eyed, and super academic. She has a PhD. I'm short, about 110 pounds, dark curly hair, and I work as a nurse. I'm more quiet and introverted, while apparently Emma was a total extrovert. Jack has a close-knit friend group he's known since forever. From the start, they didn't like me. They still call me the rebound girl. Even during our wedding, his best man joked, "We all thought rebound girls were temporary, but our boy Jack made an honest woman out of her." Everyone laughed, except me. They also mock my career, saying Jack downgraded from dating a PhD to marrying just a nurse. For my peace of mind, I've always ignored it. Jack still hangs out with them often. Last weekend, we went to a fundraising gala and Emma was there. It was my first time meeting her in person. Jack introduced me and she smiled and said, "Yeah, I know who she is." The guys weren't exaggerating when they described her. Then she laughed. Jack quickly changed the topic and asked how long she'd be in town. She said a week, and they ended up chatting all night, reminiscing about old times. I tried to stay social, talking to other guests, but I could feel him gravitating toward her. Later that night, while we were in bed, Jack mentioned he wanted to have dinner with Emma before she left. I assumed he meant inviting her over for dinner, so I asked what kind of food she liked. He said, "No, just the two of us going out." I asked, "Like a date?" He said, "No, just two old friends catching up." "Why are you being so insecure?" I asked him directly. "Do you miss her? Do you miss being with her?" He paused and said, "I'm not gonna lie, it felt really good talking to her tonight. There's just something about her." That broke me. I told him he could do whatever he wanted, but if he went on that dinner, I'd be done. He rolled his eyes and said I was overreacting. So Reddit, am I actually overreacting? It's 4:45 a.m. I didn't sleep at all. I decided to stay up and confront him when he came home. When he did, I calmly said, "I could have tracked your phone or shown up at the restaurant, but I'm hoping you respect me enough to just tell me the truth. Were you with your friends or with Emma?" He showed me some pictures, him, his friends, and Emma all together. I actually felt relieved and even apologized for doubting him. But then he told me to sit down because we need to talk. He said that after seeing Emma at the gala, he couldn't stop thinking about her. He took Monday and Tuesday off work, days I thought he'd gone to the office, and spent them with her. He told me they reconnected, talked for hours, and that the spark came back. Then he said the words that crushed me. "You're a sweet woman, but I never felt that spark with you." He compared me to her, said at dinner she was laughing and lively, while I was quiet and awkward around his friends. Then he said he thought it was best we separate. I asked if they'd slept together. He didn't answer. I asked again and again, still silence. Finally, I screamed, "Why did you marry me if you were never over her?" He said he thought I was the one, but now he realized something's missing. Then he had the nerve to say, "You'll find someone too. You deserve happiness." I told him to shut up. I reminded him how I stood by him through his cancer treatments when Emma disappeared from his life. "Where was she when you needed her most?" I asked. He had no answer. I feel so stupid for ignoring all the red flags and wasting 6 years on someone who was never really mine. My next step is finding a lawyer and my own place. I feel completely numb. My brother's coming to help me move. A few days later, things got worse. We still share the house, both our names are on the title. He sleeps in the master bedroom and I stay in the guest room. Last night he told me his girlfriend, yes, Emma, wants to stay at our house when she's in town. I asked if he was serious. He said yes. I wanted to call the police to stop it, but since his name is also on the title, I legally can't. He refuses to move out because he doesn't want to pay rent elsewhere and still split the mortgage here. He's traveling with Emma now, posting photos, living his best life, while I'm picking up extra nursing shifts just to cover the bills. I met with 2 lawyers, but I can't afford the fees yet. Luckily, I get free legal advice through my job's employee assistance program, but I'm still waiting for my appointment. In the meantime, I plan to send him the bill for half the house expenses since our split. His family stopped talking to me. His mom pretended to care for a bit, then ghosted me completely. His friends, the ones who called me the rebound, never reached out, of course. The only silver lining, the peace, the quiet house. I can cry in silence and no one's around to judge me. Oh, and yes, Emma knows he can't have kids naturally after his treatments. Their plan now is adoption or IVF with a donor, which is ironic because that was our plan. I'm disgusted, heartbroken, but also free. I hope it's okay to post here. I'm sharing this because my daughter's been really hurt by something that happened after she performed at my cousin's wedding. My cousin, let's call her Dana, got married 2 weeks ago. She asked if my daughter, Jane, would perform an aerial silks routine at her reception. Jane's been training for years at a local circus art studio, Silks, Lyra Aerial Hoop, and she's even done small gigs with her coaches. She's passionate about it and hopes to teach one day. Jane has a private Instagram for her training videos, and I occasionally share some performances on my Facebook for family. Everyone's always been so supportive. Dana was one of those people. She even came to watch Jane perform at her studio's Christmas showcase a few years back. She cheered the loudest. When Dana started wedding planning, she asked me if Jane would do a short performance during the reception. Jane was over the moon. We already owned a small, portable rig, but Dana's venue was big, so we rented a taller one from Jane's studio. Dana sent us a YouTube video of an aerialist performing at a wedding. That's where she got the idea. She specifically requested white silks and a white costume. We double-checked with her several times, sent her outfit options, and she approved one. Jane practiced for weeks, even had one of her coaches help refine the routine. Dana insisted on paying her a few $100s, even though Jane didn't expect payment. The performance went beautifully. Jane got a standing ovation, and everyone complimented her. Dana was smiling and cheering, or so we thought. A few days later, she made a Facebook post saying she told Jane not to wear white and that the performance was inappropriate and unclassy. She also claimed we pressured her into it. Total lies. She disabled comments on the post. We were stunned. We had text proof showing Dana approved everything. I tried calling her, no answer. I called her parents, who were horrified. They said Dana had complained to them that she felt upstaged by Jane, by her outfit, by the applause, by the attention she got. Her mom told her she was being immature, and Dana hung up on her. Then she made the Facebook post. We reported it along with a few family members, and thankfully it was taken down. Her parents apologized to us and to Jane. We told Jane it wasn't her fault, and that we'd be cutting Dana off for good. But Jane was devastated. She returned the silks and costume that she'd been so proud of and hasn't trained since. She said she's taking a long break from aerial arts, maybe even forever. She's withdrawn, barely talks to friends, and doesn't want to go back to her studio. We've tried cheering her up with dinners, small trips, anything, but she just asks for space. We're giving it to her, but it's hard watching her lose passion over someone else's bitterness. For now, we're focusing on reminding her that we're proud of her, and that the people who mattered were the ones cheering her that night. First off, thank you to everyone who commented and offered advice. 2 comments especially helped us decide how to move forward. Since my post, Dana's Facebook post is gone. I'm not sure if she deleted it or Facebook removed it after reports, but it's finally gone. She's never apologized, not to me, not to Jane, not to anyone. So our decision to cut contact still stands. Jane hasn't gone back to her silks yet, but she's been slowly opening up again. We're letting her take her time. Sometimes family doesn't just disappoint you, they shock you. After everything that happened with Dana's public outburst, my husband and I decided to post on Facebook to clear things up. We shared proof screenshots of Dana's text messages, approving Jane's white costume, and even suggesting the song herself. We weren't looking for drama, but we couldn't just sit quietly while a grown woman spread lies about our daughter online. To our surprise, Dana's own mother reposted our post. She even wrote that she and her husband loved Jane's performance and were deeply disappointed in Dana's actions. That honestly caught me off guard. Before doing anything, my husband and I talked to Jane and asked if she was okay with us addressing the issue publicly. She said yes. Normally, I'd never air something like this on social media, but since Dana attacked a minor in a public post, we felt it was only right to stand up for our daughter the same way, openly. Jane deserved to see that we would defend her when she's being wronged, especially by family. Later, I got the chance to speak with Dana's mother again. She told me she'd talked to Dana once more after my post, and Dana admitted that she regretted ever asking Jane to perform at the wedding. But what really got to her was the standing ovation. According to her mom, Dana said she was fine with Jane getting polite applause, but she didn't expect the crowd to go wild. She had imagined the loudest cheers would come when she and her husband walked into the reception. Instead, the biggest applause went to Jane, and that ate at her. The truth is, both Dana and her husband got plenty of love when they made their entrance, but Jane's performance was genuinely breathtaking. Even Jane was surprised by the reaction. She'd never received a standing ovation before, and it meant the world to her. Dana's mother told me she believed that no matter who performed, if that person got a bigger reaction than Dana expected, she would have been jealous all the same. Someone online suggested that Jane might want to see a therapist, given how harsh Dana's comments were. Jane agreed, but she asked that it not be anyone from her school. She doesn't want anyone there or at her studio finding out what happened. She only told her coach, vaguely, that the performance went fine. We respect her wish to keep her privacy. In that same conversation, I gently suggested to Dana's mom that Dana herself might also benefit from therapy. That kind of resentment doesn't come from nowhere. She agreed to bring it up. Another commenter had wondered if maybe someone at the wedding, perhaps Dana's husband, might have said something inappropriate to Jane, which could have triggered her sudden withdrawal afterward. My husband asked Jane privately, and she firmly said no. Still, if anything had happened, we know she might feel more comfortable talking about it with a therapist later. For now, Jane said she might switch to a different aerial studio for a while. She just doesn't want to face all the questions about the performance or be asked to share a video. We'll help her find another studio if she decides to. We're hoping she doesn't leave her original one for good. She has real friends and supportive coaches there. But I completely understand needing a break and a change of scenery after something like this. She's also decided to take a long break from performing. Even if she eventually goes back, she said she might stick to doing it casually instead of competitively. If that's what she needs, we'll support it. Hopefully time and space will help her heal. Later update. What happened after my previous post, I ran into another issue. Every time I tried posting updates on Reddit, they got removed. I eventually asked another user, Madison Brave, to post on my behalf, and she helped after several failed attempts. I even made a new Reddit account after my original got suspended from too many repost tries. Thankfully, the moderators allowed me to share this final update, and I'm truly grateful. This will be my last update. Not long after the last post, Jane decided she wanted to talk, not to a therapist right away, but to her aerial coach, the same woman who helped her choreograph Dana's wedding routine. Jane's coach had been worried since the reception, sensing that Jane wasn't herself. They met privately to talk, and after their conversation, Jane came to me. She said her coach encouraged her to open up, and what she shared next left us both heartbroken. Jane told me that the day after the wedding, Dana had privately messaged her on Instagram, not the circus account, but her personal one. The message was vile. It wasn't just bitter, it was cruel. Dana called my daughter disgusting, used sexual slurs, and mocked her body. I can't describe how furious my husband and I were when we heard that. Jane said she was shocked. Dana had always seemed proud of her, and even gave her a standing ovation during the performance. But now it was clear Dana had only done it because everyone else did. Dana even wrote that Jane only got the ovation because everyone was biased, since she was family, that no one could tell good from bad when it came to her act. Jane had already blocked Dana by the time she told us. She said she hadn't spoken up sooner because she didn't want to cause more drama between the families. But she eventually decided that Dana deserved to face consequences for her actions, especially after realizing Dana's parents had defended Jane without even knowing about the private message. Jane had saved the screenshot of the message, and after we told her we'd speak with Dana's parents, she agreed to delete it afterward, not out of fear, but because she didn't want to carry something so toxic around anymore. We also reminded her that Dana's cruelty had nothing to do with her or her performance, that it all came from Dana's own insecurities. Since then, we've started searching for a professional therapist outside her school who specializes in teen performance anxiety and self-esteem. I also want to clear something up. A few people messaged me saying my husband and I were just as bad as Dana for responding publicly on Facebook. But to clarify, we rarely even use Facebook. We only went public because Dana's lies were already public, and they involved our daughter, a minor. We even asked Jane first if she was okay with it, and she gave us her blessing. And to answer another common question, no, Jane's costume wasn't inappropriate. It came from a reputable site used by professional circus performers, including some from Cirque du Soleil. We've bought from that same store before, and many of their costumes have been used for wedding gigs, too. Jane's outfit received multiple compliments from guests. The issue was never the costume, it was Dana's jealousy, plain and simple. This whole ordeal has been Jane's first real experience with cruelty in her young performing life, and it's left scars. But with her coach's guidance, she's slowly getting back her confidence. Her coach even suggested organizing a fun hangout for Jane and her troupe, something unrelated to aerial work, like a zipline or ropes course day, just to help her reconnect with friends in a positive environment. Jane seemed open to the idea, and that gave us some hope. Recently, Dana's parents sent Jane a small care package, chocolate-dipped strawberries, with a sweet note of encouragement. Jane texted them a thank you message, and they told her how proud they still were of her. When I later called Dana's mom to tell her about the private message, she was horrified. She apologized again and said she couldn't believe her daughter would say something like that. She told me directly that there would be permanent consequences for Dana, that she and her husband were cutting contact until Dana takes full accountability and apologizes sincerely. She even hinted that Dana's marriage might be falling apart. Apparently, her husband was angry about her public meltdown and other behavior surrounding the wedding. But that's not my concern. Right now, my only focus is Jane's well-being. I don't know if she'll ever return to aerial performances, but I hope she will, whether it's with silks or something new entirely. For now, we just want her to heal, rebuild her confidence, and remember that one cruel person doesn't define her worth. Thank you for being part of our community. Your likes, comments, and shares help us bring more unbelievable Reddit family stories every day. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a shocking story.